What's up, Legacy Maker Sports? It is Joey here at the Berglund Center on an absolutely beautiful night, but let me tell you, heavy is the head that wears the crown. The Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs suffered an absolutely gut-wrenching loss at the hands of the Huntsville Havoc tonight with a final score of 3-1. It all started with a goal from Dominic Marskanevich to give Roanoke a 1-0 lead, but from there on out, things would kind of fall apart for the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs. Only 4 minutes into the second period, the Havoc would score to tie the game up at 1, and then fast forward to the third period, you could tell that Roanoke was just gassed, and they were tired, and Huntsville played like they wanted it more. You know, they would let up a goal roughly 12 minutes into the period, and Roanoke would give up an empty netter down the stretch, and that would ultimately end the season for the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs. And boy, let me tell you, it was an emotional goodbye. The Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs would end up staying on the ice. No fan left their seat, even though they were down 3-1. They said goodbye. This team meant so much to a lot of people here in Roanoke, and being able to talk to the players and Dan after the game, I mean, you could just really tell that this team meant a lot to the players, to the fans, and to end the way that it did was definitely not the outcome that they wanted. They wanted to win the final, and ultimately they just couldn't get there. Huntsville just ended up wanting it more. My article will go up on Legacy Maker Sports. Katie will have some pretty great photos for you guys. Definitely check that out on legacymakersports.com.
What can you say?
With this group, anything but repeat was a disappointment. So, tough one. That game, honestly, epitome of kind of our year. When that group was clicking, the talent and the hard work and the effort and the grit that we had, no doubt at times best team in the league. When we would have those sparks of 5 minutes, it was something to watch. And then on the other side of it, that second period, the first 15 minutes is kind of throughout the season is what we kind of saw in games, those changes. And it is about consistency. Give Huntsville credit; they just continued the same and got their bounces at the end there. But when you don't show up for that much of a series or that much of a game, you leave it down to bounces. It's a tough one at the end there. I feel for Billy Roche doing a great job coming back on the defensive end, and it bounces off his leg and in, and he feels that for sure.
Do you think you're spoiling people by not getting to the finals every year? I mean, semifinals, some people might say not too bad.
I mean, like I said, it's a disappointment for us. So we had our goal, and like I said, with that group, I think very possible to do it. But when you get down to it, the last 4, 5, 6 teams, every team is good enough, and it's who's going to show up every night and consistently do the same things, and we didn't do enough.
This was a game of opportunity with Dom's goal, perfect spot, and their goals. Guys were in the right spot. Is that how simply it came down to, just guys being in the right spot more often for Huntsville than your group?
No, I don't think so. I think you think about Huntsville's first goal. That was very deliberate. They had a guy driving the net, a pass off the pad. Rody makes the save, goes right out to their guy. It's something we work on all of the time. Our first goal, the same thing. Dom makes the dish. Shot on net, very heavy shot that ends up getting kind of bobbled, and Don does the right thing, goes to the net and stops, and he gets rewarded for that. There's that one, like I said, when you're in a tight game, 2 good teams, you leave it to bounces, and bounces will happen. That second one, was saved by Rody, and then off our own guy and in.
Well, it is disappointing to say, anything other than a championship, and we're disappointed. How special is it? What does it say about this group? How special they are? How hard they work?
The character in that room is incredible, and at this time of year, it's tough for these guys because some don't know what's next. If it's back here, if that group will never be together again, and they're feeling it right now. And I'm terribly, terribly hard on that group, on these guys, and the leadership that I've been lucky enough to have for a few years. They look in the mirror every time. It's never pushed back, and they buy in. And I've been so lucky with the leadership group that I've had the last few years.
Do you expect a few of the leaders not to be back next season?
Who knows? Too early for that.
Coach, you talked about the fan support. You've been here,
Yeah.
since close to the beginning and watched this build. You talked about it last year, and even now, you still hear fans cheering outside.
Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible. And, I think about the first playoff game we ever played was actually down at Liberty, and packed that place an hour away. And since then, give all the credit in the world to the front office with Lex and Mickey, and they've just grown this, and youth hockey has grown along with it, and it's just going hand in hand, and it's nuts now. It's awesome. Like, it gives me chills every time I walk out on the ice. It gives me chills at the end there, how passionate they are for the team, the city, these guys. It's pretty awesome.
So, I mean, does it kind of suck, or what are you feeling?
It totally sucks. Yeah, it totally sucks. But that's hockey, man. That's sports in general. That's life. It's not always going to go your way. We made some really good pushes these last 2-3 years. We did a lot of really special things this year. That's a special group in there. Yeah, it's disappointing, but it is what it is.
How tough is it to repeat or to even get back to the finals for the third straight year?
You talk about how hard it is to repeat, and like you're thinking playoff hockey, everyone's going to give you this. All year long, we got every team's best, and I felt the way we handled it, especially with the losses we had this year, the bumps, the bruises, the sicknesses, the injuries, sometimes trusting 8 forwards and 7 Ds, sometimes having a defenseman play forward. Like, we did everything we absolutely could, and I think that we flourished for the most part, Like I said, it's a tough little spot. Playoff hockey comes down to a one-shot game like that, anything can happen. It's just the way it went.
How do you feel about, you've been here a few years now, Josh,
Yeah.
helping to establish a culture here where if you don't make it to the finals, you're like,
I know, it's crazy. I was thinking about that before the game. It's special. I mean, you want to be a part of something like that. That's why we played the game. I played the game for 25 years of my life. Worked my ass off to try to win a championship at every level I was at, and I was lucky enough to do it here. There's no other place I would have wanted to do it. It was very special to do it with the guys that I did it with, guys that I've played with for 5 years now. This place is always going to be special to me.
When the final buzzer did go off, very few fans left. They stayed and they verbally thanked you. They cheered for you guys. That was emotional. Can you tell me how that felt and just what your emotions connected to this city?
Yeah, this place is my home. I first got here fresh off my senior year, honestly in the middle of my senior year really, and I just felt at home. And the guys that have cycled in and out of the room, I've been with Mac now for 5 years. He's become one of my best friends. Matty O'Day, CJ Stubbs, Austin Rodebush. We've been here from the dog days, the days where we were 16, 22, and 5 and just clawing to get an 8 seed to now where we're the favorites every year, or we're a top 3 team every year no matter what. And then hockey aside, the people are amazing here. I love the people here. It feels like home. The hospitality is through the roof, the way the boosters are treated, the way the organization treats you, the coaching staff, the type of people that get brought into this organization. It's the right type of people. Like I said, I always have a very special place in my heart.
What was the moment like with Dan there after you walked off the ice for the final time?
Oh, it's emotional. Yeah, we've been through, pardon my French, but we've been through a lot of shit together.
Dan said he could be rough on you guys too.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, my dad was rough on me growing up, and it made me a better person. And that's all Brem's is trying to do. He's trying to get the best out of you because he sees the potential in you. Any guy in that locker room around this time of the year is a very, very good hockey player, and he just expects a lot, as do we, of each other and ourselves. That was emotional. It was a really tough one.
Do you think this game boiled down to just a lack of communication, or what do you think was the kind of the key determining factor in what happened?
It's two teams who just played 3 games in 4 days on a little bit rougher sheet of ice with a lot of bodies going over top. The temperatures are up. Obviously, this time of year, the buildings get a little bit hotter. Playoff hockey against 2 very, very evenly matched teams with 2 very hot goalies. You saw the goal that ended up being the game winner. It was off a knee, off a body, kind of a fluke goal. That's the way these things go.
You think you'll be back next year?
Oh, it's way too soon. Way, way too soon. I'm going to enjoy this time with my teammates, enjoy it with my family, my fiance, and just stay present.
So.
Yeah. That one hurts.
Matt, can I ask you, are you done? I saw you hugging Dan and outside. Have you thought about next year yet?
Next question.
So with Huntsville, was it something specific that they did, or was it a lack of communication on your guys' side? What what do you think led to kind of that falling apart there?
I think it was us. We came out in both home games and we played dogs hockey in the first period, and then I don't know, whatever it is, whatever the mojo is, we just got away from it. Even in that game 2, we go up 5 goals and we stopped playing our game and we let them come back in it. Tonight we dominate the first, and then for whatever it is, we just got in this funk and we beat ourselves.
What does this year's team mean to you specifically?
Everything. Such a great group of guys. They work so hard. Everyone's battling for the guy to their left. It's just an honor to play with guys that share the same passion for the logo that I do.
Mac, it's so hard in this league to repeat, but you guys have franchise best in finish, regular season points, get to the semifinals again. What can you say about the road it took to get back to this point after winning last year, and how hard it was to get back to this point?
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy task. I mean, all year you're getting everyone's best every weekend, whether you're playing a bottom feeder team or the top of the list. Everyone's gunning for the defending champs, and I'm just really proud of the guys that came in to the group from last year, the returners that won it, and the new guys came in and filled some big roles, filled some big shoes, and it's just a great group of guys that we just left it all out there, and it's just hockey. That's what happens sometimes.
Mac, are you proud of the culture you and some of the other veterans have helped establish here? Been to the finals twice or almost 3 times. You're disappointed if you don't make the finals. You're proud for helping to establish that culture.
Absolutely. The guys that have been here for a few years: Josh Nenadal, CJ Stubbs, Austin Rudebush, Matt O'Day. Some other guys, a couple years: Pepe, Valerian. We come into the season and it's championship or bust. So unfortunately this year fell short.
As the final buzzer went off, very few fans left. They stayed to verbally thank you guys, to cheer you guys on. I noticed you stayed and you got very emotional, soaking that in. What were you thinking? How was that feeling? That's an exceptional moment. How did that feel?
It's a disappointing feeling, especially having the mentality of it truly is finals or bust with this team, and you just appreciate the people of Roanoke. Everyone that supports us. They're truly the loudest fans in the league. We have a big arena, so we don't sell it out, but it sure sounds like it's sold out every night. No matter what the number is, and the guys go around town, and it's all people are always asking for autographs, and we fully have their support, and it's such a good feeling, and it's such an honor to have, and just lucky to be here.